All right, hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to do a really deep dive into a foundational part of Mandarin communication, how to talk about professions. And I want to be clear, this is so much more than just a vocab list. This is a key skill that opens up your understanding of social structures, of etiquette, and really the cultural values in the Chinese-speaking world. So let's begin.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to take a very structured approach. We'll start with the fundamentals, the linguistic building blocks, the vocabulary. Then we'll build the grammar we need to actually have a conversation. After that, we'll see it all come together in a real dialogue, explore the absolutely essential cultural context, fine-tune some tricky pronunciation, and then we'll finish up with a little practice for you to put it all to use. Okay, section 1, the building blocks. Look, if you really want to achieve proficiency in Mandarin, just memorizing a list of words isn't going to cut it. You have to understand where these words come from, how they're built. By deconstructing the characters, we uncover these amazing layers of meaning and culture. And that, right there, is the difference between just recognizing a word and truly understanding it. Our very first term is one that's, pretty relevant to all of us here. 老师, which means teacher. I really encourage you to say these out loud with me as we go. Let's try it. 老师. Great. Now, let's take a closer look at what it's made of. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I want you to pay close attention to the cultural weight that's packed into this one word. The first character, lao, it means a lot more than just old. In this context, it carries this feeling of being venerable, of having experience and wisdom. The second character, shi, means a master of a skill. So when you put them together, lao shi isn't just a teacher, it's a venerable master. This tells you so much about the deep historical respect for educators in Chinese culture. It's beautiful, isn't it? So in this example sentence, notice the standard way of addressing someone. You have the last name, Wang, followed by the title, 老师. This is an absolutely crucial sign of respect in any professional or academic setting. The grammar itself is pretty straightforward. Subject, verb, object. Teacher Wang is my Chinese teacher. Okay, our next profession is 医生, or doctor. Now listen closely to the tones here. It's two first tones in a row, so they're both high and flat. Listen again. 医生. Let's keep deconstructing. The character yi is all about medicine, the art of healing. And the second character, sheng, is fascinating. You probably know it as meaning life or to be born. But in professional contexts like this, it often means a scholar or a master. So a yisheng is literally a master of medicine. See how the term itself conveys this deep sense of expertise in healing? And here we see it in a simple, clean sentence. You have the subject ta for he, the verb shi for to be, and our new word yisheng. He is a doctor. This very simple structure is going to be a cornerstone for you in conversations. Our third one is 工程师, which means engineer. Now, I want you to take a good look at the last character here. Does it look a little familiar? It should. It's the exact same character, shi, that we saw in 老师. And here again, it means mastery. The characters before it, 工程, mean engineering. So a 工程师 is a master of engineering. You're starting to see a pattern, right? This suffix, shi, is used all the time for professions that require a high level of specialized skill. And our last example for this section just shows how consistent the structure is. 我妈妈是工程师. My mother is an engineer. The grammatical logic doesn't change. So we've got our core vocabulary down. Now we can move on to the next logical step, building the actual question and answer. This is where we go from just knowing words to actually using them in a real conversation. The absolute key to asking this question is the phrase 做什么工作? Let's pull it apart. 做 is to do, 什么 is what, and 工作 is job. Literally, do what job. Now, that little particle at the end, the, is really important here. It's part of a special sentence pattern, the shi, the construction, which is used to emphasize details. Here, it's emphasizing the nature of the job itself. Getting this construction right is essential. Let's just visualize the whole exchange. On one side, you have the question. The full question is, 你是做什么工作的? And on the other side, the response. The answer follows this beautifully simple and parallel structure. You just say 我是, meaning I am, and then pop in your profession. For example, 我是老师, 我是老师. That symmetry between the question and answer makes it so intuitive to learn.
All right, let's put all these pieces together. Theory is one thing, but hearing the language in its natural flow is absolutely essential. So I'm going to read a short dialogue. As I do, I want you to listen not just for the words and grammar, but for the tone, how polite and curious the speakers sound.
So person A starts off very politely. 你好, hello. 请问, which means may I ask. It's a really nice way to start a question with a stranger. Then comes our key phrase. 你是做什么工作的?
And person B responds with a friendly tone. 你好, hello. 我是老师. I am a teacher. See? A direct, clear answer using that structure we just learned.
Now watch this next part very closely. This is a super efficient conversational tool. Instead of asking that whole long question back, person B just says, Nina, Nina. This basically means, and you? Or what about you? This little shortcut is absolutely key to sounding natural and not like a robot repeating sentences.
And person A finishes it off, 我是学生. I am a student. The word for student is 学生, 学生. And there you have it, a simple, complete, and natural interaction. Okay, we've covered the words and the grammar, but if you stop there, you only have half the picture. To communicate effectively, and more importantly, respectfully, you have to understand the cultural software that's running in the background. This section is, without a doubt, the most important part of today's lesson for anyone who plans on actually using their Mandarin in the real world. Let's break these down because they are so important. First, hierarchy. I cannot overstate this. When you talk to a superior, an elder, a professional, using their last name plus their title, like Wang Laoshi or Li Yisheng, it isn't just a nice thing to do, it is required. It's a fundamental show of respect. Second, the question itself. In many Western cultures, asking, what do you do, right when you meet someone can feel a bit intrusive. But in a Chinese context, it's a totally normal, polite icebreaker. It helps people understand your place in the social fabric. Now, that brings us to a huge red line, salary. It is a private matter. Asking how much someone makes is a major social mistake. Avoid it completely. Finally, humility. When someone asks you about your job, the right way to respond is with modesty. Even if you're a CEO, you might say something like, oh, it's just a small job. This isn't being fake. It reflects a deep cultural value of putting the group before the individual. Getting these nuances right is the key to not making a serious social blunder. We're now at our final stage of refinement, pronunciation. You can have perfect grammar and vocabulary, but if people can't understand what you're saying, it's all for nothing. The small tweaks we're about to discuss will make a huge difference in how clearly you're understood. Okay, let's focus on two really common problem areas. First, the word 工作. It's a first tone, then a fourth tone. Listen, 工作, high and flat, then a sharp drop. A very common mistake is to let that second syllable stay high, making it sound like 工作. That's not right. You gotta hit that falling fourth tone, 工作. Second, that sh sound. In words like shi and shir, this is a retroflex sound. To make it correctly, you literally have to curl the tip of your tongue backward, up towards the roof of your mouth. It's not the flat English sh in a word like shoe. Listen to the difference. English, she. Mandarin, shi. Can you hear that hollow, deeper sound? Practice that tongue curl. That's the secret to sounding authentic. We've come a long way today, from analyzing single characters all the way to the subtleties of cultural etiquette. We've built our vocabulary, assembled the grammar, and polished our pronunciation. So now, for your final challenge, I want you to put it all together. Based on everything we've talked about, politeness, hierarchy, formal language, how would you change our key question to ask me, your professor, what my job is? This will require you to use the formal pronoun for you, which is nin. Think about the sentence structure we've learned and build a respectful question. This is the perfect test to see if you've really absorbed today's lesson.